Hello and welcome to Nuremberg and to our Arm Tech Talks live from Embedded World 2024. I'm your host, Tobias McBride, and all week, together with some of our incredible Arm partners, we're bringing you a glimpse at some of the groundbreaking Arm innovations at this show. This Arm Tech Talk series is the place for you to discover the latest from the Arm ecosystem. So welcome back if you've watched our series before, and thank you so much for joining us. We're live every day, bringing Embedded World to you at home, at work, wherever you are around the world. Our partners are showcasing some of the latest developments on what is the world's most pervasive and efficient compute architecture that 70% of the world's population uses. That, of course, is Arm. And we're going to be highlighting some incredible AI-powered use cases here at Embedded World, showing that the future is built on Arm. What a day we had yesterday on day one. We talked all about things AI, on helium vector extensions with Arm's Cortex-M55. That was with Ambiq and their Apollo 510 product. And we carried on that AI theme with Cadence, where we also discussed their work with chiplets and virtual prototyping. Both of those are available right now on Arm's YouTube channel, so make sure you check those out. Well, we carry on that theme of automotive and virtual prototyping today. I'm thrilled to be at Siemens booth discussing all things virtual prototyping with them and some really special guests as well. So, without further ado, it's my great privilege to welcome Ash Sethi, Technical Program Director from PAVE360 at PAVE360 at Siemens EDA. Welcome, Ash.
Hi, Tobias. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for joining. Here. It's really exciting. So, as people who have watched the Tech Talk series before, we had you guys on 2-3 weeks ago. Really great Tech Talk, and you dived in a lot about this shift-left approach that you guys have and the shift-left approach in the automotive industry as a whole. Can you talk a bit more about your approach to shift-left at PAVE360 in automotive software development, how Siemens PAVE360 enables that, and why it's so important?
Sure, absolutely, and it's a pleasure to be back again. So with the SDV and future developments of SDV, there's a huge amount of complexity involved, and a lot of that complexity is going to come from the software. The traditional way in which you're going to go forwards and develop software for those SDV type applications is to wait for the silicon to come and then start developing your software. Now that's obviously going to take a very long time, especially if you're talking about the latest products and IP that's available, such as the Cortex-A720 AE, which was only launched last month. Now, if you want to wait for silicon to be available for that, and then develop your software and then integrate it into a vehicle, it's going to be a very long time before you can actually start to reap the benefits of that new technology. With shift left, what we're actually talking about is the desire for OEMs, tier ones, and other customers and users, including silicon providers, to be able to develop that software as early in the development cycle as possible.
Yep.
And that means essentially shifting that from the right side of the project plan all the way to the left side of the project plan. So that's why it's called shift left. And what we're interested in doing is essentially helping that with EDA expertise, with modeling, simulation, digital twin expertise, to try and help our customers to do that.
It's really exciting what you're doing. And as I say, we had a really great deep dive today. There's some really exciting demos to come as a little sneak peek, and we'll talk a lot about that in a second. But as part of PAVE360, you've got that accelerated pre-silicon development environment on the cloud. And as you mentioned, we've got the latest Arm IP in there. Can you talk a bit more about that collaboration and our latest Arm IP and how you're working with that latest technology from Arm?
Sure. So we obviously have a great relationship with Arm. We work together on a bunch of different things. When it became known to us, from Arm that you were launching the A720 AE, that virtual prototyping was a big part of that. It was really a kind of a no-brainer for us to get involved more deeply with Arm to really see what we could do to help that along. The pervasiveness of Arm in automotive was a key factor in our decision to sort of come on board. It was important for us to leverage our own digital twin DNA, our own EDA expertise, and combine that with automotive, with Arm's pervasiveness in that automotive market, so that we can help customers really gain value from that. And if you add to that the fact that the Cortex-A720 AE is actually a completely brand new product. It's right up there with high performance compute. We know that customers are going to be wanting to use this, and so we didn't want them to wait for silicon to come out, which is what I was saying at the beginning, is that we want people to be out there developing software on top of the latest technologies.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go.
It's really exciting. Wow. We've talked about it. Should we see it live in action?
Absolutely. So
let's switch should we switch to have a look at the camera and switch camera to have a look at a bit more detail?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do that.
I'll get one of our team up.
Okay.
There we go. Right. So let's get the handheld up, switch to landscape, and talk us through. Introduce yourself briefly, and then tell us a bit more about what you're showing off here.
So my name is Thomas Ulber. I'm an application engineer working for Siemens EDA, and hopefully show you a little bit of what we are doing here. So as Ash already introduced you, we're having a very fast model for the Arm Cortex-A720 AE, and that's what you're showing here right now. You see there are several different ways how to get access it. One is, of course, using a nice web interface, and what you can see here, you just show some basic models or model information, including the cores that are available on the platform, the memory interrupts, and of course, for software developers, device tree information is quite essential to do software development on that platform. And then, of course, you can also upload your firmware information. And for now, for this demo, for this short little demo, we just use the SOAFEE reference stack here, just to show containerized workloads and to be able to do real benchmarks for the platform here. And the other thing that we have is just a little serial console where we can interact more or less with the real device. As I said, the SOAFEE stack is running here, a Linux stack, so we have a Linux console here. So traditionally, and that's what you can see here, we are running, we are running ARM fast models, and looks like I lost my demo here. Oh, that's too bad.
That's all right. This is live, right?
That is strange. Yeah. So usually we are running a Qwemo-based simulation, and with the Qwemo-based simulation, usually to run the TensorFlow Lite benchmarks, it probably runs 15 minutes just in a traditional workflow. That's what I was going to show you right now. Unfortunately, somehow the demo is broken, but I can at least show you how easy it is and how fast it is if you are running the same benchmark here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If you are running the same benchmark here on the show, you see it's done already, so it's not taking close.
That was very quick. Blink and you miss it.
Exactly, it's not running any close to 15 minutes. So if I would be finished this demo on the Qwemo side, would just starting and not even get that far at this point in time.
It's really exciting. Thank you for showing that.
Of course.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
So who's next?
We now hand over to some special guests. And without further ado, I'm thrilled to invite a friend and colleague from Tata Technologies, VVS, who's going to talk us through, tell us a bit more about Tata Technologies. We're going to get up your demo now. So why don't you tell us a bit more about Tata Technologies, who you are, and how you've been working on PAVE360 with the latest Arm IP.
Yeah, sure. So hello everyone, this is Vivi from Tata Technologies. So Tata Technologies is predominantly as India's largest service provider, especially in automotive sector. So our DNA lies with automotive. So we are here with Siemens and Arm to demonstrate our SDV architecture on PAVE360 hosting Arm Cortex-A720 AE automotive enabled. So let's dive into the demo.
Let's go for it.
So what you see on the screen is the high-level architecture of the complete software solution that we have. So on the top, whatever you see is the cloud solution, and then on the bottom part of it is the onboard software. So we have complete CI/CD setup done from development environment to the validation on PAVE360 hosting Arm IP, and then we also have the complete onboard solution virtually tested on PAVE360 here. So if you see closely the architecture of the software on board, you see SOAFEE and different other application workloads containerized, and they're all working seamlessly here. So let me dive into the little bit architecture here. So PAVE360 is hosting a SOAFEE architecture here. What we have done is we have containerized different workloads, and we are trying to orchestrate different workloads, and we are trying to see how mixed criticality can be achieved with SOAFEE, right? And also what we are trying to do here is we are trying to create some analysis software, monitoring the CPU load, monitoring the ML programming, and then we have integrated different open source pieces like CUBSA from Eclipse Foundation, and then we have integrated vehicle API solutions from Covesa and following VSS, and then we also have an AutoSAR container here. So what we are trying to demonstrate is very close piece of what SDV Alliance is actually speaking of. So we are really excited to see how SDV Alliance is going to bring a lot of vision into SDV, how SDV Alliance can bring in the SDV architecture into the reality very soon. Let's get into the demo on the other side.
Let's have a look on this side, yeah.
So what you see on this screen is complete. What you see on this screen is the complete data coming from the virtual platform. So we have a virtual platform hosting the complete architecture here. So what you see here is the data coming from the ML model of the application software as a container, and you see the data flowing in at the real time. So what we observe with the PAVE360 development environment is it's just not a virtualized platform, but it also gets the real-time analysis of utilizing ARM core IP. So that's a high level about the demonstration.
Awesome, thank you. Well, it's great to have you guys partnering with SOAFEE and a partner of Arm. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we hand over to the Sensory guys? Because we've got another guest coming up.
Yeah, sure. So at last, what we want to highlight is the shift left approach. What we see shift left approach is really helpful for OEMs and Taiwans to especially accelerate the development of applications. And we as Tata Technologies have seen real value in having applications virtually tested at pre-silicon phase, and it's great to have here.
Awesome,
Yeah.
thank you.
And at last to mention, I'm really excited to see how future of automotive is running on ARM, and really excited to see what we can do together in automotive.
We're really excited too. Thank you. This has been a great collaboration between Arm and Siemens and Tata Technologies, and we have another special guest. So
Thank you.
let's get our another special guest on. We're delighted to be joined by a colleague from Sensory. While we get him mic'd up, if you want to find out anything more about PAVE360, get that QR code scanned. I will hold that up there for another 5 seconds. Get your phone out, scan that QR code, and we'll find out more about PAVE360 at that link. So we now have another special guest, Sam from Sensory. Tell us a bit more about yourself and who Sensory are first.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Sam Taban, and I lead Sensory sales and marketing in Europe. So I am here to show the demo of Sensory STT3 National, which is connected to the ChatGPT. So running this demo on the ARM 720 is very interesting because if you look at the market, the software guys has to wait for the silicon to be available, which usually in the automotive takes up to 2 years. You have the qualification, and after that, the software. So it could be up to 5 years when you get to the market, which is a product getting very old. With the technology I'm going to show you today, soft engineers and the hardware engineers working in the parallel, and they make the lead time to the market much shorter. So let me show you here our automotive assistants. So we have actually here using the Voice Genie as a wake word, but you can use any kind of custom wake word with our technology. It could be your company name, it could be your end customer name, any kind of wake word you would like to have. Here in this case, I'm going to use Voice Genie. We have also Hand Sensor. So go for the Voice Genie. The language I'm going to use here is our English, but we do have German, French, Spanish, Italian available on this model. On the top of it, we have roughly 40 different languages that it can be used in our technology. Okay, so, and by the way, everything I'm going to show you is embedded. So it's very important how fast it is. And with our embedded solution, the privacy is very important, that everything, the data stays in the car, nothing leaves. So let's start. Voice Genie, change the temperature to 25 degrees. Voice Genie, change the temperature to 25 degrees.
This is a live demo.
Yeah.
We will get it. Don't
It
worry. We'll
worked
get
for
it.
5 minutes ago. Voice Genie. Change the temperature to 25 degrees.
There we go.
Yes. Voice Genie. Change the temperature to 15.
So this is integrating right in the back end into ChatGPT, as you were saying.
Yeah, it is connected to the ChatGPT. Voice Genie. Change the temperature to 15 degrees. Voice Genie. Why is red blinking light on my dashboard? And more and more. I mean, you can talk in a very natural way with Sensory STT TNL connected to the ChatGPT.
Awesome. And this is all running collaboration with PAVE360 on ARM.
Yes. Yes.
This is awesome. So it's really exciting to see how you guys are building and working with AI on Siemens on ARM today.
We are looking forward to work with ARM. We have worked with ARM in many years, and this new platform 720 is excellent to get to market sooner than it was in the past.
That's really exciting, and it's really exciting to see this live. And it's also great for you to be a SOAFEE member as well. We're super excited to have 3 SOAFEE members talking today, talk about their fantastic work.
So, it was a pleasure.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. Right, well, let's get, and if you want to find out more, here's your last chance before I switch to the main camera to find out more about Siemens PAVE360. Scan that QR code, and you'll be able to check that out. So now we're going to head back and catch up with Ash again from the Siemens team. To do that, I'm going to switch back to our main camera. Just bear with me 1 second. And we will catch up with Ash and talk all things about the future. Because we've talked about what's available now, but of course, I'd like to talk about the future as well. Ash, come on back in. Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, you know, sometimes we get the demo gremlins, but I think the important thing I think to bring out of what you just saw there was that you know, this is all software that is running embedded on an A720 AE on a model where there's no silicon available.
Yeah.
And you know, software partners have come along and ported their software onto it. And I think that's the message to take home.
It's really exciting. As you say, we've got live demos in a very, very noisy place.
Yeah.
These things are great, but it worked really well. So thank you so much, and thank you for that great collaboration.
Very
So
welcome.
talking about collaboration and talking about partnership, you guys are long-time ARM partners. We're super excited for you to be an ARM partner. How does that collaboration and partnership with ARM and our technology and our ecosystem really enhance that capabilities of the PAVE360 platform?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as you've just seen, these are just some examples of ARM's partner ecosystem. And, you know, it's a ubiquitous ecosystem. It's everywhere. So it just seemed to make sense for, you know, us to work with ARM, Siemens to work with ARM, to work with those software partners, to try and get that software up and running again on the latest technology as early as possible, almost at launch, so that, you know, when the silicon does come about, there's a huge amount of software that's out there and available for, you know, ARM customers and Siemens customers to use.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when we talk about, you know, it's really great to see this live with a demo. Are there any specific case studies or success stories with PAVE360 in the automotive industry that you're able to share? Because I'm sure people are thinking, this is great. How can I see this in action?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, one key one really comes to mind is that, you know, we had a customer who they were waiting for silicon from their silicon provider. Now, obviously, they really desperately wanted to get going on software. You know, there are automotive schedules at stake, you know, SOP targets that need to be met. And, you know, they came to us and said, listen, how are we going to get our software up and running? How do we validate this hugely complex amount of software without, you know, the silicon being available yet? And so, you know, we worked very closely with that particular company and delivered a solution that's based on what you've just seen here. And they were able to, actually, they're currently in the throes of getting the software up and running and quite happy about it. So,
seeing it in action, right there in action.
Exactly.
It's not just theory; it's happening in practice.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, I'd love to talk about the future. We're really excited to be working with you guys. How do you at Siemens envision the future of automotive development with PAVE360, with ARM's technology? How do you see that coming together in the future?
Well, you know, we are working with customers. We're working with ARM continuously and strongly on, you know, developing out automotive-based systems to help with the development of next generation SDVs. We fully believe that we want to be part of a relationship with Arm where the future of automotive is built on Arm.
We're super excited for that to happen. Now, I'm sure people are joining on this webinar, they'll be watching the recording. They obviously can scan the QR code to find out more, but how can you go into a bit more detail? How can people get access to PAVE360? How can they get their hands on this in person?
Sure. I mean, the important thing here to note is getting in touch with us.
Yeah.
We have a wide range of support infrastructure available, and I think it's important that if people are interested in talking to us more about this accelerated simulation environment, they should visit this QR code, fill in the contact form, and just get to reach out to us, and we'll get back in touch.
Amazing. Ash, thank you so much. This has been an awesome Arm Tech Talk. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to add for the audience? This is your last chance before we wrap up today.
No, I think that's just about it. Just suffice to say that working with Arm and you, Tobias, and all the team there has been a real joy and a pleasure, and we hope it continues for a very long time.
Absolutely will do. Thank you so much, Ash. Really appreciate you joining us for Arm Tech Talk today. And that concludes another Arm Tech Talk live from Embedded World 2024 here in Nuremberg. As I say, we're live every single day, so we've got more Tech Talks lined up today and more lined up tomorrow with some really exciting Arm partners, all showcasing the latest on Arm here in Embedded World here in Nuremberg. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any of those. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, the Tata team and VVS from the Tata team for all your great demos, all your great work with Siemens. And audience, we'll see you again for another Arm Tech Talk live from Embedded World. See you soon, folks.